Hi, my name is Wunmi Williams and I am an under 40 CEO.
The African Renaissance. The concept that the African people and nation shall overcome the current challenges confronting the continent and achieve cultural, scientific, and economic renewal is here, with young men and women taking the lead. Some call them the new school heroes. We call them under 40 CEOs.
Wunmi Williams grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, from where she would eventually leave for the University of Surrey, where she bagged her bachelor's degree. She would later return to Nigeria to start a fashion retail business, which launched from out of the boot of her car. Over 10 years later, her portfolio of businesses has grown to include a premium upscale mall sitting on prime real estate in Ikoyi, Lagos. Wunmi Williams is the founder and CEO at Nakenohs Boulevard.
All right, welcome to Under 40 CEOs, Wunmi.
Hi, Mr. Fab. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Good to be here.
Good.
All right, Wunmi, you attended the University of Surrey, where you studied retail management, I believe. You just said it. You're doing exactly what you studied in school, but not much has been recorded about your early education, primary, secondary. Do you want to just take us back down memory lane?
Okay, I went to St. Xavier's School, Ikoyi, which is right across from where we're recording right now, where my the mall is. I did my secondary school education at Nakenohs Secondary School, and then I went to University of Surrey in the UK. After that, during my degree, I did a internship in Nordstrom in Atlanta, where I got my professional experience in the retail industry.
All right, that's amazing. So in a previous interview you granted, you had said you always wanted to study business. So what's the series of events in your childhood that led you to make that decision?
The truth about it is that I lost my dad at the age of 10.
Wow.
And my grandfather raised us, my siblings and I, and he always gave us what we considered like the basic, but he always made it clear that anything you want in life, you're going to have to work to get it. So if, for example, say your pocket money is £500 per term, and you want to have things, more than that, then you're going to have to work to get it.
You probably had less pocket money than most of your friends, right?
Yes, especially because I went to school with a lot of Arabic friends, and like their pocket money would be like £1,500 per month. And so imagine just having to like manage what it is that you have. So I started like it was in university actually in 1999. I had like my friends have to work side jobs, and for me it was one thing or the other. I couldn't focus working and studying at the same time, so I would go to a store, like I think I've mentioned this before, and I would buy something, say like a pair of earrings, and they'll be doing like buy one get the other one free, and I would go to like my hostel, and then my friends would say, oh, I like your earring, and they'll be like, oh, I'll be like, oh, I have it for sale, and then I would sell it at the full price. So from there, I knew that I had a natural skill for selling things.
All right, so retail management.
Yes.
Did you always know you were going to end up in fashion?
It's not fashion per se. I wanted, like I just explained, I wanted to do business. And my sister and my best friend were going to this University of Surrey, and I looked at the module, and there wasn't actually business management. They only had retail management. So I spoke to one of my mentors who, as a child, she's also a family member, she would guide you through, and we went through the module, and everything that business management was retail management, but it just specified in the retail as a module subject, retail, but it was pretty much business management. And I was like, oh, retail, and she's like, look, this was back, like I said, in 1999 or 1998, because that's when I started university. But she said, watch where retail is going to go in the next 20 years. So that's how I got into it wasn't planned that, okay, retail, I didn't know what retail was per se, but this is how I found myself.
All right, amazing. So University of Surrey, retail management, internship at Nordstrom, and then Nakenohs.
Yes.
So tell me about that time between the internship, moving back to Nigeria, and then Nakenohs.
I moved back to Nigeria in 2003, and I was selling from the back of my house. And basically what I would just do is those same accessories, I would go to like different corporate organizations, say like the banks. So people that I knew in the banks, they'll come out during like their breaks and buy stuff off me from like my suitcase. And then I used to do a lot of exhibitions.
Yes.
Yeah, so we had a lot of like exhibitions. I'll take my stuff to different exhibitions in different locations. So I began to build my brand. And how did I come up with my brand? My dad only had girls, and this is before he obviously passed on. And for me, that was a way, it was a bit sensitive, but I knew that once you get married, that's the end, you know, because I wasn't one who always wanted to have like a compound name. So I needed, that was a part to keep the connection. So Nakenohs is actually my maiden name, which is Shonekos spelled backwards. So for me, that's an attachment, feeling that I have something to hold on to. So I started building the brand, going for different workshops. And after 5 years of doing this from the back of my house, I knew that, okay, it was time to expand, because for me, it's not just about what you're doing at that particular time. It's, for me, there's always more, so I was like, I need to move. And at that point, people were like, you're not paying any rent here, you're not paying any diesel here, why do you want to go and acquire all these overhead costs? But there just has to be more than just selling from the back of your house. And it's a bit limiting, to be in your home because of security reasons and different things. And you can't put like a signage outside your house. And I needed to establish this brand that I'd been building over the 5 years. So that happened for 5 years. And then I got married in 2007. It was during the time of my wedding, and the Ashoebi came, say, like 2 weeks before the event, and this was a Christmas wedding. So I knew that there was, because of like bringing in the fabric into Nigeria, so I identified that there was a gap in the markets, which was, delays with getting your fabrics. I decided that, okay, well, I didn't decide, things just kind of always flowed. That, okay, this is the era where your friends are getting married, your family, cousins, different people are getting married. So I ventured into the business of fabric, but instead of ordering them ahead, like far ahead of time, I would basically invest and have like stock. So when people had an event, I already had them readily available for them. So we did that. And so I moved from Ilabere, my family home, to Oniko in Military Street, which again was like my auntie's building. So she just gave me one little, I won't call it little, it seems little now, but again, I'm humble. It was a good phase at that time. So I moved to Oniko, and I was there doing the whole Ashoebi from 2007 to 2010. We were there for 3 years. And then again, you lose some clients, you keep some. Some people found it a little bit out of the way to come to Oniko. There wasn't really parking, or you had the issues of the area boys in Muson Center by that area. So in 2010, I had already started thinking of what next. So I moved to Dolphin Estate, and we were there again for about 2 years in Dolphin. And then Nakenohs was turning 10. So that is when Nakenohs had been in business for 10 years.
From losing a father at such a tender age and subsequently being raised by a stern grandfather who did not indulge her or her siblings in the self-entitlement mentality, Wunmi has put in work to build an enviable business and felt the need to celebrate its 10th anniversary in an event that told of her journey and also where her ultimate destination would be.
I know that at 10, there was an event held,
yes,
and you made a big announcement.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Okay, so when Nakenohs turned 10, for me it was 10 years in business, 10 years of hustle, there has to be more. So, I mean, like, look at how I'm dressed today. This top I'm wearing is from a fashion brand here. So when people look at me, they say, oh, I like your hair, where did you get it from? Oh, I like your outfit, where did you get it from? So I found that when I'm in contact with people, they always want to have an idea of what it is that I'm wearing. So I said, instead of constantly sending people to, you know, other locations, why don't I basically bring everyone under one roof? So that's how, you know, again, I get a lot of my inspiration from my creator, who is God, and he's the one that makes it all possible once he gives me the vision. So I heard him say that you're going to have your own shopping mall. And then I spoke to some people about it, and they're like, yes, you know that Lekki, there's one free trade area now, there's this, there's that, you know, different things, or Lekki phase 1. I'm not joking. I heard God say, no, you're going to have a mall in Ikoyi. I was like, how am I going to have a mall in Ikoyi? Like, how? Like, I know that I've been in business for 10 years, but I know that my finances of 10 years may not necessarily be able to create a shopping mall. So I went and I heard God again very clearly saying that when I give you a vision, I'm going to make provision. And there's nothing more satisfying knowing that when you've received a word from God, that you just have to hold on and believe that he's going to make it possible. So I started being obedient. I started following the voice, you know, and how do you hear and how do you follow the voice is by getting different confirmations. So I started going, I don't know if you want me to go into all the details of how I got to the shopping mall or everything.
Yes, I would love for you to do that. But yes, there was a voice, but I'm sure the voice was giving you practical steps that you took towards raising the funding for this project.
Yes.
And a lot of young business people are grappling with that, you know, issue of funding. They've tested their ideas and they want to scale. Yeah. What were the practical steps you took with the voice guiding you to raising funding?
So in this voice, I heard, I'll show you the property. I'll show you the location. And so again, just driving around, one day I saw a property on Bank Road, and I just inquired about the property, and as soon as I saw it, I felt then that, okay, this may be it. I did a bit of research, but then the owner of the property had told me that that property was just for 2 years, but that they had plans later for it. That, are you sure that, you know, you want to do anything now? And I'm telling you, I heard that this is almost like a proof of concept, almost like a practical case study to first of all see if it does work, you know, if this is going to work. And I mean, then also people thought I was crazy, that how would you just take a property for just 2 years, you know. But again, I mean, I try not to over spiritualize things, but if you want to know who I really am, that is who I am. I work with God a lot on a lot of things. So I went ahead and I took the property, I secured it, and then I got my architects to draw what the vision, the plan of this shopping mall. And then I basically started selling the idea to different prospective tenants on a 3D drawing. And if I showed 100 people, if one said yes and the other 99 said no, and then basically it was, I used my personal money to secure it, but then I used the funding that I was able to raise from the prospects to basically fully establish it. So we just said, oh, and come December, this place is going to be opened up. So that's how I was pretty much able to gain the capital that I needed.
Okay, that's amazing. So tell me, what's the current business structure at Nakenohs?
Okay, so I'm the retail curator, and that is the person who has all these beautiful ideas, the brands that we want to be here, and basically making sure that it all comes together properly. But we have an advisory board. So we have, a team of people who come together, in fact, once a week, to basically make sure that things are going according to the plan.
Okay, that's amazing. So what's your plan to further scale this enterprise? This looks amazing, this looks big, but as we walked up the stairs, you said to me, we're only just getting started.
Yes.
Where are we going?
Okay, so I believe that Nigeria is a very big country, and basically we all don't need to be, crowded in one area. I believe that certain locations should have this sort of hubs, retail hubs, so that not everyone is trying to struggle in one particular place. So if you want to know, there's certain things I may say, there's certain things I may not say right now, just because we're still, working on them. But the plan is to be in different locations.
Okay. So tell me, how is, and talking about locations, how has travel and interacting with different cultures helped to shape the vision?
Oh, travel helps a whole lot, because that is where your mind is opened up to inspiration. For example, I go to Atlanta very often, and that's where I did my internship, whenever I'm there, and my mind is just fed with just so much, like I'm rushing back home to come back and give you what we can have, because the truth about it is that Nigeria is there are too many opportunities, and we just have to tap into those opportunities, and no one is going to do it for you. You have to be able to just find your space and do what it is. So I get a lot of inspiration from being there. I'll just say one, for example. Like I told you, I won't give you everything, but you go down the road, you see a block of apartments, and you're renting it there, you're a foreign investor, you come in for business, and you just go downstairs, you can pick up a snack, you can pick up an outfit. Like, we need to be able to think there's more. So we need to be able to think more.
All right, so what would you say makes the business landscape in Nigeria unique?
For me, what makes it unique, if you're comparing it to, say, being in other countries, I can't really compare to other countries, because I do not know what their own restrictions are or certain things. But to stay in business for this length of time, I know how many people started at the same time that I did. It takes just more than having money. It's really about your passion, because there's so many factors that could have made an individual pack up. So say, for example, right now we're having an interview, the generator is still on. So what should be your profit, or what should be, should go as your turnover, is going to such overheads. So that's what I would say is unique about this country, is that certain things are not yet in place.
So infrastructure is a big problem. All right, we all know that human resource is a key element to consider when building any enterprise. How do you typically hire?
So in the past, when it was not very structural, someone just refers someone and, okay, we'll hire them. Whether or not they were actually competent for the job, you hire them. So you just found that it was very difficult, because you keep trying to train someone who doesn't actually fully understand the business. So you would just constantly keep orientating, but it just was not working because they did not understand it. But now, because we're following a lot of structure, there are certain agencies that are in place. So that is how we get our staff.
All right, so I mean, I'm I see an award over there, and I'm sure that you've gotten a lot of recognition for your work, a lot of nods, accolades. You know, what do these awards, recognition, what does it truly mean to you?
For me, it's not about self, not at all. I really don't care about self-gratification. Everything that I do, I say to God, even with this shopping mall, I don't care about getting any praise. It's about people seeing me and seeing the light of God inside of me and giving people, should I say hope, that things can be done and you can do it. It's not for my gratification, but to give God that glory that, you know what, if you hold on to Him, if you trust Him, impossible is nothing.
Okay, so how would you describe your leadership style?
My leadership style, they may be able to give you a better answer, but sometimes I'm sending them messages at like 12 a.m. Sundays, just all the time. And I know that maybe my style should be, okay, today's Sunday, give them a break, or today's a public holiday. But I just keep on giving them like all the orientation, all the knowledge, and we constantly have like meetings, constantly just to keep improving oneself. So for me, even though they're doing great, I just keep pushing.
Okay, so tell me, I'm sure as a leader you've got your failings as well. Tell me about your failings as a leader.
I think my expectations are extremely high, and it's not just even in the workplace, even at home. I expect for everything to be as I want it to be. So I'm learning that no, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Okay, tell me about those challenges that you've faced in business to make the strides that you've made so far.
Before these structures were put in place, there were a lot of sentiments and there were a lot of personal relationships. And when you have personal relationships with people, it doesn't allow you to actually achieve your goals the way you want it to be. So trying to explain to people has had to take a lot of bravery. Let me give you a typical example. Like I said, I just put together this place, and someone that I know says, I want a store. And I'm like, no problem, please speak to my team. They don't want to speak to my team. They want to speak to me, but I have to make it clear that there's a team. So the challenge has been being able to draw a line and make it clear to people without being disrespectful, to understand that.
Okay, beautiful. You're married with children.
Yes.
And there's this debate about work-life balance. Is it achievable or is it a myth? What side are you on?
Oh, it's definitely achievable.
Okay.
I'm married. I've been married for 11 years now, and I have 4 children. The first one is 10, and then the second one is 8, and then I have a 5-year-old, and then I have a 19-month-old baby.
Wunmi is succeeding not only in business, but also with work-life balance. But how does this success influence her lifestyle choices? I seek to find out.
So I have a few quick-fire questions for you. What do you love to eat?
I love edikaiko, I love pounded yam, I mean both local and foreign food, I would say.
So how would you describe your fashion style?
I won't say like I'm over the top, like, you know, these fashion gurus or anything. I'll just say that I believe that the way you dress is the way, you know, people would
address you.
Address you, exactly. So, I mean, you don't have to be a Beyonce or anything, but just make sure you have your stuff together.
So what's your favorite fashion brand to wear?
What I'm wearing right now, I love them, Ilare, and they're also here in the shopping mall, Nakenohs Boulevard. I wear loads of other brands, whether or not I have off-the-rack, ready-to-wear clothes. I also promote and appreciate local brands.
Okay, so what other CEOs do you currently look up to?
One of our new tenants is Mrs. Nakenohs. I just like everything that I see about her brand, even from the store merchandise layout to the quality of the clothes. So I would say that she's someone that I know that I would definitely be getting closer to in the near future.
All right. What's your favorite car to drive?
My favorite car to drive is the Range Rover.
Okay. So what's your favorite travel destination?
I'm a traveler. I love to travel. So in terms of saying my favorites, I can't really say where I love, but I know that my next destination is Mykonos.
Nakenohs.
In Greece.
All right. So what's your favorite book of all time?
Well, right now, I'm reading a book called, forgive me on the profanity, but The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And that is by Mark Manson. Okay. And why am I reading that book? I care a lot about what I used to, care about, okay, what does this person think? What does that person think? And you find that you can't really move forward if you're constantly caring about the opinions of others. So this book has helped, even though I kind of knew, just confirms, ways to be able to, not by offending people, but just to be able to say, you know what, it's okay if you're not okay, and move forward.
So lastly, I would like to know, Wunmi, what makes you happy?
Deep, deep down, and this is the gospel truth, when I find that I'm in the presence of God and in the presence of positivity, positive energy, I'm happy.
All right, thank you for coming on Under 40 CEOs, Wunmi.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's been a great one. Usually I'm very nervous, but this has been great.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Wunmi Williams, and you too can be an Under 40 CEO.